Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy Looney back with another video. Today we're diving into a couple of key topics, and this includes the escalating trade tensions following China's retaliatory tariffs and a beginner's guide, or just overall what I'm doing to combat this sell-off or this major crash, and just overall news, what's going on. But before we get started, quick shout out to my Discord. It is free to join. And then I also have a premium version of that Discord, and you get more perks. You get one-on-one coaching, trade alerts, some of the trades I will actually go on in this video I discussed in those premium chats. You do giveaways and newsletters and more. You can check it out. All links will be in the description. So let's get into this. Earlier today, China actually announced a hefty 34% tariff on U.S. goods in response to the U.S.'s recent tariff hikes. And this move has intensified fears of a global trade war, leading to significant volatility in the markets. So major positions like the S&P 500, NASDAQ have taken substantial hits. Also the Mag 7 with stocks like Apple, Microsoft, and Tesla, they've experienced noticeable declines. And what's pretty interesting among this all, or this turmoil, is the crypto market is actually showing some good resilience. You have Bitcoin and Ethereum trading in the green. So you could see my account started off green for maybe very early in the morning, and then they announced the tariffs. I believe it was pre-market they announced the tariffs, and immediately we saw a major sell-off, and just throughout the day, a lot of red. And like I said before, let's actually switch over to, let's go down to here with the big companies. Let's look at something like Apple, if we could find, I have mine set in this format. So yeah, major sell-off, 7% decline in Apple. Apple is a major company that utilizes China, and these tariffs or this tariff war really affects Apple. I know Nike took a hit, but that's Taiwan, and Taiwan actually dropped, or they're attempting to drop their tariffs. So it actually had good movement or went upwards, but Apple took a hit, and almost every other stock has taken a hit. And my portfolio is definitely hurting. Apple I'm holding off on, and I just started so let's go over actually what I'm doing to react to this market crash. And a few things is the wheel strategy. Actually, a lot of my things expired worthless today because I sold covered calls, and that's like a small hedge, but you get to collect some premium, and I was just letting it appreciate by letting it go to expiration. So that's what's going on with that. But I opened a sell put on SoFi at $8, and I went over this in my Discord. It was a call out because I saw it was trading really low. So I did it on today. It doesn't show the exact date. Maybe it will at 10:49. So let's see what SoFi was at 10:49. Yeah, almost. I think I got the exact low, but yeah, as soon as I saw it went under $8 or $9, thought that was a perfect entry point to sell a put and collect premium. And it's already up $15. And I actually got assigned on SoFi. I had 2 assignments happening at that $12.5 and $11 strike price. So not great, but also not bad. I plan to hold SoFi for the long term and just overall grow this position. It's already at 10% in my portfolio. So I'm looking to grow this one. And then Hood we could look at just very quickly because that's what we're using. We're using Robinhood. Let's go down to here. And this one was down 10%, $34. And I'm just simply dollar cost averaging. I actually was able to acquire 1 share, and I plan to get to this stock long term and get like 100 shares and sell covered calls on Robinhood because it should give you good premiums. It's just at a price point that's a little out of my range, and I'm thinking about opportunity costs with going stocks a little bit cheaper and getting those premiums for those because a little bit more volatile. But Hood's a great stock, long-term play. And then, like I said, crypto, on the other hand, was actually green, which is pretty interesting. There could be many arguments for this. One I've seen was because there is no tariffs on crypto. It's not affected, but I don't know if that's the reason. I think it's just a little bit unusual of this movement. And I do think Powell had a few announcements today that actually there were some that were bad call outs and then some were good call outs. I wasn't able to watch it, but just reading the Twitter feed, there was some good news and bad news for the future involving inflation and interest rates and just the entire economy. But it's pretty interesting how much things are changing. Trump really is affecting the entire market. And just because the market's bad, that doesn't always necessarily mean the economy is bad. They're not linked one-to-one, but there's definitely some correlation between the two. But ever since Trump's been doing these tariff wars, we've seen massive bleeding, or maybe a pop, however you want to look at it. Crypto is somehow up, doing the same strategy, dollar cost averaging with crypto, putting $3 a day. Another position I'm doing, which doesn't really move too much, but let's just see what it is or what it's at. It's Sony. It's at $22, and I put $5 today, and I do it every day, trying to acquire that 100 shares. So if it stays low or keeps dropping, that's fine. I get to acquire shares for cheaper and then hopefully sell covered calls. But my strategy is definitely working well in a neutral to slightly bullish markets, but with the selling options, you get a steady income stream. But however, these dips or these massive sell-offs, premiums are a little bit overvalued. If we look at the VIX, it has shot up. Let me just pull that one up real quick. And this highlights volatility in the market. So it's up to 45, and that's insanely high. So options are a little bit overvalued, and there's a lot of fear in the market. So good time to sell options, and that's why I opened that trade today. And although I can buy protective puts, I just feel like options are a little too overvalued, and that we don't really know what the future is. It's a very choppy market. So selling options are okay in this market conditions. There's not really a best strategy right now unless you're buying puts. But those are very speculative moves. And I don't want to do that. I want to be I'm a long-term bull. So selling options safe, dollar cost averaging, safe strategy, long-term. And just be greedy when everyone's fearful. That's one of the massive terms that Warren Buffett says. And these China tariffs have definitely added a layer of complexity to the investment landscape. So while stocks are experiencing downturns and then crypto is somehow showing some strength, it's very crucial to be able to adapt and just look at your strategies long term, maybe leave some cash aside. And just let me know, drop a comment below sharing your thoughts on some of the strategies I'm using and how you're navigating these turbulent times. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the Discord for real-time trade alerts and discussions. Until next time, peace.